Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Malawakadash, double honor, son to the elder apostles at Great Millstone, for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, I see a lot of Israelites, of course, people, so-called, Afro people and stuff like that in America, South America, Europe, and stuff like that, talking about, they backing up Ukraine and stuff like that. You have no idea what you're talking about. First and foremost, I'm going to just show the headlines. All you need to do is type this here, black people on Ukraine or in Ukraine. Anyway, so black students, these are people from West Africa, so they're Israelites, alleged racism during escape from Ukraine. Our African students in Ukraine are leading their own rescue efforts. Why? Because they want to leave Ukraine, but these devils, they want to keep them there in order for them to go fight front line for a country that hates them. People of color struggle to escape Russian invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine rejects claims of discrimination by border guards and says it operates on a first-come, first-served basis. Of course, that's what the devil says because they have snake tongue. You got to remember you're dealing with the race of Satan. You're dealing with Edomites. You should never forget, just like how they never forgive and forget Hitler, you should do the same. But then again, you a Negro, you're stupid. That's what the Lord said. In the book of Isaiah chapter 1, it shows it. You're stupid. Ezekiel chapter 2 also, you're stupid. You need to be guided. You're dumb. That's why these elites, they have something is called, you're stupid. You're goyams to them. You're cattle. You need to be led. Idiots. More African students decree racism at Ukraine border. Yeah. Nigerian students in Ukraine, they said black people should walk. Right. Or fight. Okay. So now I'm going to go over here. It says here. They face racism. Okay. Russian invasion of Ukraine shows racism. Because they want them to fight. You know what? I'll put just type this in Google. Now, going back over here. How many neo-Nazi is the U.S. backing in Ukraine? You don't see the pretty pictures, right? But I got a video of it. Not all the members of the Ukraine ultra-nationalist militants, the U.S. is training, have SS tattoos. And if you don't know what SS tattoos is, it's like this lightning bolt thing. Right. Yeah, this one. The hate symbols, because you have to understand that all these Edomite groups, you have this, I think this is the Black Sun or whatever, something like that. They have the SS, they have the swastika, they have the KKK, they have all these tattoos showing you that they hate you. But what do our people have as tattoos? They have tattoos showing that they hate themselves. I think what is blood, whatever. And then you have the C. You got the, blood killer or CK, whatever, man. What the fuck ever. Right? And not all espouse fascism, but enough to do some worries, to be worrisome. Of course, here I'm going to put this link in the description box. I just go to the, to the articles and stuff like that. Who want to enlist? Was this journalist poisoned by Putin's private army? This is this guy called, because he was exposing a lot of things. And of course, I looked him up here. And he was saying here on here, stop the disinformation. Right? He said, stop the disinformation. And because he was a journalist, but I think from France. Of course, this is France. But going back to over here, here. One of the most influential and hostile critics of the infamous Wagner group, sometimes known as Putin's private army, died in suspicious circumstances earlier this year. 3 sources close to him have told the Daily Beast, that they believe he was poisoned. 2 friends of and a relative of Jean Sinclair Maka, okay, I'm not gonna try. Gaboskoto, Goboso Koto? Gebose Koto? Something like that. Boso Koto, this guy. Here, you can see. He's a journalist. Say, the late journalist told associates he was meeting with an unarmed individual connected to both the Central African Republic government and the Wagner Group at a restaurant in the hours before he died. The person he had dinner with is someone very close to the Russians. One of this guy's closest friend told the Daily Beast. He was speaking on conditions of anonymity, meaning staying anonymous, as he feared he could be targeted by the Russians. His wife, who was with him when he died, said at first he complained of feeling extremely weak and felt like vomiting, and later he began to convulse, with frothy saliva gushing out of his mouth. It's okay. Okay. The rest you can read for yourself if you have the time. I will put the link in the description box. The fact that the government didn't want an autopsy shows it had something to hide, right? So going on. Now, mind you, this is another dark-skinned man that got himself in that trouble. Trying to, work for these devils. You have to understand we're not on their side. You know what I'm saying? So now going to over here. Where is it? Right. Oh yeah, that video. Let me put that video out there. Wait, where is it? Here, neo-Nazis. It shows here.
We're talking about Victoria Nuland, the top U.S. diplomat for Europe.
Nuland said, "Fuck the UK." That's what the EU. Sorry, but anyway, let them talk, because they're gonna make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All we need to do is sit on the sideline and tell you about the prophecies that's mentioned in the Bible, because a lot of prophecies is gonna be opened up right here. Check this out.
Assistant Secretary, this is about a phone. We're talking about Victoria Nuland, the top U.S. diplomat for Europe. Assistant Secretary, this is about a phone call she was having with the U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Jeff Pyatt. And I got to say, for a diplomatic reporter like me, it was a fascinating conversation.
He's now gotten both Sari and Ban Ki-moon to agree that Sari could come in Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
So that would be great, I think, to help glue this thing and have the UN help glue it. And, the EU.
Audio of Assistant Secretary of State Victoria Nuland apparently dictating who the U.S. wanted in and out of the supposedly grassroots-supported...
Look at these eyes, man. Like, I see Satan, but sorry about that. I won't stop the video again.
...interim government only came as who the U.S. wanted in and out of the supposedly grassroots-supported interim government only came as a surprise to those who did not believe Washington or its allies in the Washington Consensus were actively involved with the ongoing protests in the country.
Right, if you believe that these Americans have nothing to do with the protests that are going on in Ukraine, you're delusional. Just like how they had it in Iraq. Oh yeah, I said I wouldn't stop, but yeah, sorry about that. I wasn't expecting to stop. Let me just go on. The video I wasn't expecting.
As did the revelation of her admission last December that the U.S. had already pumped $5 billion into the funding of the Ukrainian opposition.
Since Ukraine's independence in 1991, the United States has supported Ukrainians as they build democratic skills and institutions, as they promote civic participation and good governance, all of which are preconditions for Ukraine to achieve its European aspirations. We've invested over $5 billion to assist Ukraine in these and other goals that will ensure a secure and prosperous and democratic Ukraine.
As did the appearance of confirmed terrorist supporter John McCain at a rally with the leader of the Ukrainian neo-Nazi Svoboda party leader. As did the appointment of a central banker as the interim prime minister and his immediate announcement that the country was in talks with the US, EU, and IMF for emergency loans.
Ukraine's acting Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk said on Friday he is determined to comply with conditions set by the International Monetary Fund in exchange for loans. An IMF mission is due in Kiev next week for talks with Ukraine's de facto leaders, who have said the heavily indebted country needs at least $35 billion to stave off bankruptcy.
as did the appearance of a slick new viral propaganda video in English promoting the supposedly grassroots uprising, which was immediately exposed as finding its inspiration in Council on Foreign Relations member Larry Diamond, who has worked closely with the same NED and USAID that were linked to the 2004 Orange Revolution.
And that Orange Revolution was another bullshit also, where they poisoned one of those candidates, 2014. You can check that out if you have the time.
You know, I think some of that might be important context to what's going on in Ukraine today, when
Yes.
you have literal State Department stooge Victoria Nuland, aka Mrs. Robert Kagan, one of the co-founders of PNAC, out there literally handing out cookies to protesters on the street there in Ukraine, and oh, by the way, handing them $5 billion in aid to help overthrow their government. I think that might be an important part of this puzzle. And it's funny, I saw even people in the comments of the last New World Next Week quibbling about the phrase, oh, neo-Nazi, oh, Antifa. Antifa just throws that around to anyone these days. No, we're talking about literal swastika flag waving, SS rune helmet wearing, literal avowed master race supporting neo-Nazis, literal neo-Nazis in, for example, the Azov battalion that, oh, by the way, likes to post on their social media about welcoming NATO commanders and showing them around, led by U.S. representatives. And NBC News likes to put their photo ops up and promote them as, wow, look at, Ukrainians getting into the fighting spirit with this grandma in this Azov battalion helmet. Let's see if she's wearing the SS rune. Maybe she is, but NBC News doesn't care about any of that for some reason when it comes to reporting on this story. So, yeah, I do think these are important pieces of the puzzle to understand what is really happening in Ukraine right now. And, in fact, this is not the ancient history of 2014. This is happening today. In fact,
You see, this is not 2014 because they did it back then, but this is now 2022.
fresh off the newswire, I just saw this report from thinktankwatch.com. Ukrainian lobbyists flood U.S. think tanks, which reads in part, as tensions with Russia reach a...
It's going to stop. As tensions with Russia reach a boiling point, lobbyists from Ukraine are working feverishly to shape the U.S. response. But what they're doing is basically they're doing a... But anyway, right. So, how many neo-Nazis are there? They're not really going to show you the pretty pictures, but we have it because they make it their own tongue to fall upon themselves. Because you have to understand, so, wait a minute. You know that these devils, they always go crazy when somebody is doing some Nazi symbolism and stuff like that. So it says here, AliExpress was caught selling Nazi figures. It wasn't freaking AliExpress. It was an Edomite on their platform, on their site, selling these things, Lego figures and stuff like that, with the SS thing, insignia that I just showed you. Nazi soldiers with the SS thing. These are the Lego figures that was being sold of Hitler and Nazi soldiers with the SS thing. AliExpress pulls Lego Nazis from site after outrage. Outrage from who? Of course, these people. These Edomites, these Amalekites, Adut Sheva, right? Also known in English as Israeli National News. Those are the ones that got a problem with according to these people, with the neo. So they basically, they had a problem with them selling these articles that represent those things, and these were just Lego figures. How much more when actual real soldiers with the SS single insignia and signals and stuff like that, symbols, actually I wanted to say. How much more should they then boycott them for having actual real Nazi soldiers with the SS symbols? Right, funny, eh? Because you gotta understand, you're dealing with the race of devils. Don't underestimate Satan. They're liars, hypocrites. They will do anything and everything possible just to basically blind you. Now, boycott after Nazi symbols, hold 10 chains. These are just examples. Faces calls for boycott after CPAC stage, whatever. Hyatt Hotel, okay, after Nazi symbolism, right? Critics have threatened the boycott the hotel chain for allowing CPAC organizers to build a stage that resembles a Nordic, whatever. And what is that? That's this one of their another sign that Esau has to show you their hatred towards you. And what do our people have? Niggas crip, what's up, what's up? Shit like that. Showing signs and tattoos of you hating yourself. Right. So, and that goes for the MS-13 and other groups that are fighting amongst each other and stuff like that. So now you have here, Coughlin offers the Ukraine flag with a Nazi symbol. Customers call for a boycott. What's the shit? You ain't gonna boycott shit. What you're gonna do is you're gonna comply with what the elites have to say. It don't matter to them. You see, they don't care. It's all about this. What is the war in Ukraine about? It's all about this, right?
But okay, let's put this in.
Wait. Let me read all this. Like I said, they make it their own tongue to fall upon themselves. Now, let me go read here first, right? So it says here, Archive find confirms Russian view of NATO's eastward expansion. Now, if you don't know what that means, now check this out. Here you have Berlin, which is Germany. I'm here, by the way. No tiny. Let me go over here. Okay, now here's the line, right? Where they were supposed to act. Oh, no, wait, sorry. Here's the line where they were supposed to actually let everything to the Rush. Sorry, here. Here, basically. Here. Right. Yeah, that's about it. Here's the line where they actually was supposed to draw the line, right? For the expansion toward the east. And if you don't know, that was the east that I just showed. This is the east, toward the east, from the western West Europe. Now it says here, we have made it clear that we will not expand NATO beyond Elbe. So what is Elbe and where is Elbe? Elbe, oh yeah, this is the Caucasus Mountains, by the way. Georgia, Russia, right? As you can see, it's a part of Russia. Anyway, so going on, and then you have Turkey, of course, which is very close to because they're Khazar. A modern name for their name is Khazarian Empire, but we know them as Amalek. But going on, same thing with the Israelis. Now, where's Elba? Elba is, you could say, here, but I have other pictures, of course, to be more specific. As you can see here, this is the river Elba. Elba, the river. It separates a little bit land from each other and stuff like that, but it's still, because Berlin is still part of Germany. Berlin. And here you can see the Elba River. Right, I should just show, which is this here. Pretty place. We're gonna take that, by the way. I'm coveting the land that they coveted and stole from the Japhetic people, and we're gonna own this. I want it, so not specifically this region, because you have brothers in Germany, GMS too, but then anyway, we gonna handle with each other for that. Right. So here you have, of course, the Elba, which is then, wait, do I have another pretty picture? Basically here, you saw the picture. So what the hell did I just do? Sorry. Basically here, you saw the pretty pictures. Sorry, here, as you can see. But going on. We have made it clear we will not expand NATO beyond Elba, wrote German diplomat Jürgen Kroebach of a March 1991 meeting of the United States, Britain, France, and Germany. This document confirms Russia's view of eastward enlargements. Right, because the Russians, this Putin dude, he says like, "Hey man, what are you doing? You're getting closer and closer to my border. I don't want that. That you broke the treaty, you broke the agreement that we had in 1991. What are you doing? So now I'm gonna invade here and take back my property, which you are coming way too close to. I don't want you to come too close here." But anyway, going on. Now it says here, a note from the British National Archives, which has only just surfaced, supports the Russian claim that the West violated promises made in 1990, beyond 90, a year before 1991, with NATO's eastward expansion. This is reported by the Mirror, which is a news outlet. U.S. political scientist Joshua, whatever, found the doc. He found it like it was lost, really, which was formerly classified as secret. Yeah, that's why he found it, because it was secret, classified as secret. It is about a meeting of the political directors of the foreign ministers of the USA, Great Britain, France, and Germany in Bonn on March 6, 1991. The topic was the security of Poland and other Eastern European countries, which I just showed, which I can show right here. Here, Poland and other Eastern European countries, which are these: Croatia. No, not Greece. Serbia, Bulgaria. Here, which these are the others of that is all connected to Russia, because there was the USSR right here, and this part too. Right, I don't think Greece was a part of that. I'm not sure. Let me leave it at that. But I don't think Greece was a part of that. Greece was a part of Europe, like EU here. Yeah, this is Europe too, but they're divided against each other, which is beautiful. I freaking like that. Just like how they love it when our people murder each other, the Bloods and the Crips and stuff like that. But it's all good. Let me go on. Now it says here, a political director heads the political department in the foreign ministry and is regarded as the foreign minister's closet advisor. Bond's representative Jürgen Biller said at the time, "We made it clear in the 2+4 negotiations that we would not expand NATO beyond Elbe. We can therefore not offer NATO membership to Poland and the others." Right, this is what they said to each other in 1991, 1990, and 1991. The British, French, and Americans also rejected NATO membership from the East, for the East Europeans. Now it says, by the way, this website was translated from the German into the English. So yeah, you should do the same once I put it in the description box. "We have made it clear to the Soviet Union in 2+4 talks and elsewhere that we will not take advantage of the withdrawal of Soviet troops from Eastern Europe." Right, because they was all up in here. They was all up in here, right? The Russian troops, which is here, they was all up in here. As soon as they withdrew, then these devils, they saw a chance, like, fuck it, let's still go. And still plant mindsets, things in the population, the people, their mind through a $5 billion backups and stuff like that, different type of things that they push there, their propaganda. So it says, 2 years later, the Americans corrected their politics, like they made a mistake. According to them, they made a mistake, yeah. But the fact that they said correct is funny, because the guy is also going to mention it. If we found it funny too, I find it funny too. Corrected? Like corrective surgery, right? you know, and you chop off your penis and make it to a girl. Oh, I'm corrected now. Wow, how happy I'd be. So, when you talk about Ukraine and stuff like that, hey boy, you don't know what you're talking about, man. I see a few Jakes. Yeah, man, what's happening to the Ukrainian people? It's horrible, man. You speak like a cake, man. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You have no idea. The death of the Minsk agreement and the onset of many a speech, right? Fucking egomaniac thug asshole is fabricating the most cockamamie bullshit reason to invade another country, and he is going to destabilize the entire region without giving two shits about the rest of the what the rest of the world thinks. Excuse me, sir, but are you talking about Putin or every single U.S. President since Truman? You see? Because people are getting hip to the shit. But the funny part is, there goes the media. Here comes the media to marry you into their bullshit. You know, by sweet talking you. Now, like I said, I'm going to leave all these links in the description box so you can check them out for yourself. So let me go to the video.
But okay, let's put this in perspective, because here's the rub. There's an interesting thing that is bubbling under the surface that I've already pointed to a couple of times, but I think is more important than the mainstream media and the establishment mouthpieces and lapdogs of the State Department and their wealthy funders would have you believe. It relates, in fact, interestingly, to what timing an incredible new find from Der Spiegel, who unearthed just a few days ago some interesting documents and announced a major discovery, namely that a document proving what has long been officially denied is now out in the open, that NATO absolutely deceived Russia about its eastward expansion throughout the 1990s. And that report reads in part through translation, so this is maybe a bit clunky, but it says, "We have made it clear that we will not expand NATO beyond the Elbe," wrote German diplomat Jürgen Kroberg of a March 1991 meeting of the United States, Britain, France, and Germany. This document confirms Russia's view of eastward enlargement of NATO. A note from the British National Archives, which has only just surfaced, supports the Russian claim that the West violated promises made in 1990 with NATO's eastward expansion. Bond's representative Jürgen Kroberg said at the time, "We made it clear in the 2+4 negotiations that we would not expand NATO beyond the Elbe. We can therefore not offer NATO membership to Poland and the others." The British, French, and Americans also rejected NATO membership for the Eastern Europeans. U.S. Representative Raymond Seitz said, "We have made it clear to the Soviet Union in 2+4 talks and elsewhere that we will not take advantage of the withdrawal of Soviet troops from Eastern Europe." 2 years later, the Americans corrected their politics, which is an interesting translation that's coming from this auto-translation, but actually probably says more than it even knows.
Even he laughs.
Anyway, it's an interesting report because, as I say, Der Spiegel just unearthed this document, and there you go, guys. It proves, and Russia's been saying this for a long time, but, well, it's just Russia. You're not going to take their word for it. Well, here it is in black and white in this document. Yeah, we promised no expansion beyond the Elbe. But actually, this is not news. The National Security Archive has had an entire study panel on declassified documents proving, quote, assurances against NATO expansion to Soviet leaders from Baker, Bush, Genscher, Kohl, Gates, Mitterrand, Thatcher, Hurd, made...
Wait, sorry. Before I let it go on, you have to remember that, the last empire of the statue is mentioned to be of iron and clay. They're doing sneaky stuff behind each other's back, but they're actually a part of each other. You gotta understand that it's one empire to a certain degree, and they're fighting against each other in fightings, and that's the beautiful part. And this is what we have been talking about started with the elder apostles on down. They've been talking about it for more than 40 years now. We just been talking about it since what? We here in Holland, for example, 2011. Since